Hello everybody, CJ here. I'm happy you are all able to join me today in this drawing session. Today I'm going to draw a couple sticker designs for my store that I'm going to be launching soon. More info on that later. For now, let's dive into what we're drawing today. This first sticker design is a drawing of a mermaid sleeping on a whole bunch of jellyfish. I wanted to communicate how I felt about the ocean and being underwater and the serenity that comes with it. At first, I didn't really like where this drawing was going. The colors were a bit dull and I found it hard trying to balance a personalized touch while still keeping a clean rendered look. I'm still learning and finding my style within digital art and art in general, but I feel that the journey I went through with this piece really helped with that. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the shop that I'm opening up. Ever since I've graduated from high school, a family member of mine has asked me if I wanted to open up a shop. At first, I dismissed the question and answered that I wanted to do more with my art than simply sell it. I had such a big dream of opening up an animation studio, and I still do, I just thought I couldn't do both at the time. It was either opening up a store or working towards opening up a studio. But the more I went through life, the more I realized that I can open up a store that matters to me, a store that is more than just simply art. As I started developing my branding and figuring out my niche, I was able to learn so much about myself. I would have never thought I would be opening up a store if I'm being honest. But I'm so glad that I stepped out my comfort zone and gave it a shot. But don't get me wrong, the road wasn't all sunshine. There were storms and tribulations that I went through and are still going through, but there can't be a rainbow without a little rain. The more I work on this piece, the more I started loving the outcome. I honestly surprised myself with the colors I was able to achieve in the jellyfish. I had a lot of fun painting this piece and found a lot of what I wanted to communicate in this illustration. When I was getting closer to finishing it, I told a friend of mine that if you were to refrigerate a gusher then eat it, that's how this painting would taste, specifically the tropical flavors. I also wanted to talk about incorporating stories into my artwork. When I work on paintings, I like to put on YouTube videos in the background as white noise in a way. During this time, I started watching a lot of videos that talked about writing stories and breaking down characters like Spider-Gwen or Ahsoka Tano. The more I watched these videos, the more my appreciation of writing grew. I got inspired by these videos and started writing a story of my own for a project that I'm working on. I've started working on the first draft and found so much enjoyment developing these characters and including elements of the world building into it. Writing has honestly been a great way to put down the ideas that I've kept in my mind on paper, and I want to take those ideas and stories and turn them into illustrations. The project that I was talking about is going under an alias of Project Exodus, which is a story that takes place in a fantasy world, and obviously I don't really want to disclose so many details so that when I release it, it's a little bit of a surprise. But the overall idea of the story takes place in the perspective of a young nomad seeking success and what that means to them. The story means a lot to me since I relate to the character, and I'm so excited to release it to you all and talk more about it. But I want to save that for a future video coming up, where I make a character sheet for the main protagonist and talk more about their character. I'm currently working with a print-on-demand site called Printful to bring the products on my shop to you all. While I was putting the sticker as a listing, I ordered it to see how it looks and the quality of it. I was surprised to see how great it printed out. The colors stayed vibrant and alive, and the actual sticker quality was great. I made a short promo video to show you all how it looks like. Here it is, and I hope you all enjoy. These next batch of stickers are a two-piece set where they complement each other and line up to make a mini painting. I'm really proud with how these stickers came out, especially the bubbles. At first, I had trouble trying to get the effect that bubbles have with the swirly colors in them, but I was able to learn how to do it pretty quickly with a YouTube video. I'm so grateful for how much I can learn, and you guys as well, just with YouTube videos. To be honest, I first started learning how to draw by watching YouTube videos. YouTubers like Mark Hurley and Draw with Jazza were my childhood, but I can't really put all my skill progress in YouTube videos. I've been blessed with a good art teacher that was able to teach me so much and help refine my skills. But on the other hand, YouTube offers so many resources helping you draw what you want and how to do it. So if you can't really afford art college or art school, or even if you're past college, there's so many opportunities and resources out there that you can learn from. Take me as an example. I was just simply looking at deep dive videos about characters and their writing, and it sparked the right flame within me to start learning how to write good complex characters. And while I'm not a professional writer by any means, I was able to learn so much about writing characters and a good story just from a couple of YouTube videos. So don't ever give up trying to learn something new. I know it can be extremely challenging, but sometimes you just have to give it a break and come back to it later. I had to do that multiple times in these paintings. There were a lot of parts in the face, like the eyes or the nose, that I kept on trying to fix and make better. But all I had to do was take a break, and when I came back to it, I automatically saw the problem I had to fix. At the end of the day, it's the trials and errors that we face that makes us who we are. Talking about trials and errors, I wanted to touch up on a trial that we all face: stepping out of our comfort zone. While it sounds exciting as it's something new, it also sounds scary because it is something new. It can be a change, big or small, but it is change at the end of the day. I've been reading a book that has helped in guiding me through opening a business which is way out of my comfort zone. It's called Launch with God by Zach Windle. While I'm only halfway through, it has helped guide me and look at things with a different perspective. To sum it up, the book talks about opening up a business that matters to you and fulfilling your purpose. It includes personal stories from the author, and as I've been reading it, it feels like a conversation with a friend. It also connects stories from the Bibles and applies the lessons to reality. The author elaborates on finding out your personal purpose, removing obstacles, confronting reality, and figuring out what it is that you really want to do. There's countless other topics that he touches upon, but I haven't gotten that far in the book yet. It's really great because it focuses on learning who you are as a person and who you are within God before creating a business. Because if you don't know who you are, and you don't know what matters to you, then how can you create a business that's for you? I know it can feel lonely stepping out of your comfort zone, because at times I feel lonely in pursuing what I want to do, since I'm really the only person in my family to open up a business relating to art. To feel lost in your ambitions, to think that maybe I'm too young to do this, maybe I'm not experienced enough, I'm not skilled enough, maybe I'm not ready. But if we keep thinking that we're not ready, then we'll never be ready. It's really a leap of faith, a leap that is determined by what you put your faith into. I hope you guys are enjoying this video, and if you are, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, as it really helps with what I'm doing here. To lighten the mood a little, I want to talk about something that brings me a lot of joy: Star Wars. Slight spoilers ahead for Clone Wars. I love Star Wars and everything about it, except Star Wars Resistance, but let's be honest, I don't think anybody will watch that. Anyways, Asajj Ventress is my favorite character. The way they brought her in and introduced her in Clone Wars was so cool, especially how she was a Night Sister and how they introduced Dathomir through Ventress. Her story was also super interesting. I'm so glad they gave her depth instead of just being a simple side character villain. When she had to team up with Ahsoka, it was interesting to see that happen because you saw how they were enemies in the past and how much they despised each other, but then you also saw how they both started to share the same enemy in the later seasons. Seeing them team up was honestly so satisfying. The writing in Clone Wars is top notch from the other media I've seen. It's my favorite show, and for good reason. It's a huge inspiration when it comes to writing compelling characters and complex villains. They were able to introduce the world building in a way that made you care for what was happening because they tied it into the main story. They were also able to write great characters because they treated them like humans. They had their own internal struggles, and you saw that in the show and how it influenced them when they made decisions in the main story. How the characters did things and communicated perfectly reflected how they were as a person. I guess you can see why it's such a big inspiration to me. When it comes to writing characters of my own, I'm constantly looking at case studies from different medias I enjoy, like Avatar: The Last Airbender, Clone Wars, and the Spider-Verse movies. They include such fun, well-written characters that it's hard not to take notes from. For example, I was doing a case study of Sokka one day from Avatar: The Last Airbender because the main protagonist in my project, Project Exodus, is a nomad that later leads a team and becomes a teacher. Sokka also has that similar story. The writers were able to make an immature 15-year-old into a strong, capable leader. They showed his struggles and the moments where his wrong beliefs were tested and broken down, the moments where he had self-doubt, and the moments that he became triumphant, the moments where he had good leadership skills and leaded a team to victory. It was a great story and interesting character development that was fun to watch. Sokka became an iconic character because of how people were able to relate to his character and how alive he felt. Characters like him and many others are a huge inspiration of mine when it comes to writing my main protagonist. I really want to ensure that they are relatable and feel alive in a way that makes readers connect to them and their story. When it comes to writing my protagonist, I'm making sure that I set up their development before really introducing the main plot, so that readers like you can all feel connected to this character and make you want to know what happens next. Before I spoil anything serious, I'm gonna save some of those talking points for a video coming up, where I make a character sheet for this main protagonist. But until then, I hope you all enjoyed today's video, and make sure to keep your eyes peeled for the next video coming up. If you want to see more content from me, make sure to check out my Instagram where I post sketches and paintings before I upload them to YouTube. I also have a portfolio containing my art. If you guys are interested in seeing more of my paintings, sketches, and illustrations, consider checking it out. All the links can be found in my About page of my channel. The links are stored in a link tree that also contains the other sites that I'm on, like LinkedIn. But anyways, that's all for today. And never forget to journey through the potential of what could be.